sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. And next we join together with Hine Matov, how good it is for us to be together. Even if we are together on Zoom, we are still together. Hine Matov manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. And at this point, we will turn to our candle blessing. So if everyone wants to have a responsible adult, and I guess underline responsible, so perhaps that applies to all of you, let's certainly hope, light the candles, then we will say our blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And we now turn together to page 20, where we will join in the singing of Lecha Dodi. And as is our traditional custom, we will sing together verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Lecha dodi likat kalai yalalai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likat kalai yalalai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamur v'zachur v'dibur echad Yishmianu elam yuchad Adonai echad ushmo echad l'shem ultiferet v'litzehila Lecha dodi likat kalai yalalai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likat kalai yalalai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'lecha ki mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh v'machshava techila. Lecha dodi likat kalai yalalai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela.
lecha dodi likat kalai halalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri ki va'orech kumi ori uri shir daveri kevod Adonai alayich nigla lecha dodi likat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Bohi v'shalom ateret bala gam besimcha uv'tzola toch emunei am segula boi chala lecha dodi likat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
We now turn together to page 24 for Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We turn our page and join together for Chatzi Kaddish.
Vitkadash meraba ve'alma divrach yotev yamlik malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayeto bet Yisrael bagala uvizman kariv ve'yimaru Amen. Yesh meraba mevara ve'ala mulat ve'amaya yitparach v'shtabach yitpahar v'tramam v'yitnase v'yithadar v'yithalal shemed kudesha Tehela min kol bechata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'himeru Amen.
At this time, turn to the Baruch Hu on page 28. We ask for those that are able to please rise. And please know that just by nature of the technology, unless you want to see my stomach, I am not going to rise with you. However, I'm rising with you in spirit as we are here together.
Baruch Hu et את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
We continue on page 30. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvidvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, v'mishmarotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil bein yom uvein laila, Adonai tzavaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. On page 33, we continue in English. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated. We continue with the Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובחומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. We continue on the top of page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
We continue with Mi Chamocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף עליו, נורא תהילות אוסף עליו. מלכותך ראו בניך, חוקי הים לפני משה, זה עלינו. ve'amru, Adonai imloch, leolam va'ed.
V'ne'amar kifada Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We continue on page 43.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, Shalom. V'amidenu, shomrenu l'chaim, ufros aleinu, sukat shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, Shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
On page 44, the top of the page, the people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. We turn now to page 46, and if you are able, we rise for the tefillah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agit ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chazei Avot v'Imaot, V'mevii Geula libnei bneihem, L'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah. Ata gibur leolam Adonai, Mechayei hakol ata rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel hachayim b'chesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Tzomech noflim v'rofei cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato, L'shemei afar, V'yechamocha ba'al gevurot, U'midom elach, Melech memit u'mechayei, U'matzmiach Yeshua, ונאמנת לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. On page 55, disturb us, Adonai. Ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border for living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
We turn together to page 57.
Ritzei, Ritzei, Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, Be'hamcha Yisrael, U'tefilatam, Be'ahava tekabel, U'teil ratzon tamid, U'teil ratzon tamid, Avodat Yisrael Amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadcha b'yirah navod, she'otecha levadcha b'yirah navod.
Page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these things and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha Ulecha Na'el Lehodot.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. V'tov peinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת וכחשב ישלומך. Hosea Shalom.
We now take a moment for silent prayer and meditation and reflection on our thoughts.
Hosea Shalom Bimramav. Huyasi Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru Amen. Yase Shalom. Yase Shalom. Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase Shalom, Yase Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to take this opportunity not to offer a long sermon, but an opportunity for us to engage in a little bit of conversation of an issue that I know is important to all of us, and just to catch you up a little bit with some of the opportunities we have for learning within the Reform movement as well. One of the things that has been offered to us are a couple of videos offered by Jews who are also people of color, who have offered an opportunity for us to think about the situation right now that we're seeing as a result of systemic racism. And so I'd like to share with you my screen, which will provide for you a video. First, I'd like to share with you, and it's only about a minute long, so please don't worry, it's not a long video. But it is spoken from a woman named Yolanda Savage Narva, who has dedicated her professional career to helping people live their best and most healthy lives. Her work includes collaborating with tribal governments to promote public health, promoting pedestrian safety, and advocating for and advancing health equity. She is the executive director of Operation Understanding DC, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting understanding, cooperation, and respect while fighting to eradicate racism, anti-Semitism, and all forms of discrimination. Yolanda has a master's in education and a bachelor's in sociology with a certification in gerontology. She is a wife and the mother of a 9-year-old son. And I'll share this with you.
I wonder why this world is so cruel. I hear a symphony of racial ethnic harmony. I see every human on this planet as an equal. I want to make all of this pain go away. I am a Jew of color. I pretend to be understood and accepted by my entire Jewish community. I feel conflicted, hurt, and exhausted. I touch a future where my Black life matters. I worry every day about my son, my nephews, and my brothers. I cry tears of trauma, neglect, and fear. I am a mother, daughter, sister, and friend. I understand I need to meet you where you are in your journey. I say, when is this going to end? I dream about a day when all systems of racism, hatred, and bigotry are dismantled. I try to make a difference in my world every day that there is breath in my body. I hope you will join me because people of color, Jews of color, cannot do it alone. I am a human being. I am a human being coming to you tonight with a call to action. And that call to action is asking you to think about your role in the system of white supremacy, holding the mirror up and saying, what can I do to dismantle this? Understanding that there has to be internal and external work. People of color, Jews of color, are hurting. We're dying in the streets. We're dying in our own homes, and we are afraid. We are exhausted. Please take this time to think about what you can do, what this looks like 3 weeks later, 3 years later. The time is now.
And so I guess the question I have for us is, have we thought about what this looks like in 3 weeks or in 3 years? I know that for so many of us who are at risk for COVID, perhaps our making a difference looks different from the person next to us. That there are some people who have wonderful health and are out and are marching in the streets, but there are other people who are not. And for those of us who are not, there is much we can be doing. There are books that we can be reading with each other and conversations we can be having. And there's also this idea of watching the words of the people who we know and love, and perhaps those we've never met, and trying to take their words to heart and to understand how we can make a difference. It doesn't have to be by marching, but it can be by befriending someone and having serious conversations that help to open our eyes and open our hearts to the work that needs to be done. It's my pleasure to share with you something that just came out today from the Reform Movement. I'll again share my screen to share this with you. And as you can see, this just came out today. The Reform Movement has offered the following statement. Throughout the past 400 years, Black people in America have been enslaved, subjugated, disenfranchised, murdered, and discriminated against. From generation to generation, white Americans, including white Jews, have failed to own and end the systemic racial injustices on which the nation was founded, and instead have actively or passively perpetuated these injustices. Our Jewish tradition is replete with instances of moral reckoning when we are asked to be present and accounted for. Ayeka, we are asked, where are you? We respond with a full-throated hinenu, we are here. As Reformed Jews committed to the spirit of this teaching, we say unequivocally, Black Lives Matter. To affirm that Black Lives Matter is to commit to a human and civil rights movement, working to end systemic racism against Black people and white supremacy. To affirm that Black Lives Matter is to recognize that we are a racially diverse Reformed Jewish movement and that our diversity is a source of our strength. To affirm that Black Lives Matter is for white Reformed Jews to pledge to be in solidarity with Black Jews and Black people from all backgrounds against racial injustice and to act accordingly. To affirm that Black Lives Matter is to recognize the imperative to live with complexity and know that we can be steadfast in our love of and support for Israel while working side by side with those who hold differing views and express them respectfully. To affirm that Black Lives Matter is to accept discomfort, knowing that actions or inaction of white Jews have contributed to ongoing racial injustice. To affirm that Black Lives Matter is to move beyond allyship and commit to long-term solutions, both internally in ourselves, our own organization, and externally in our communities to disrupt and dismantle white supremacy. To affirm that Black Lives Matter is to acknowledge that Black people risk their personal comfort and safety every day in white-dominated institutions, and that white Jews must commit to risking their personal comfort and even safety in the struggle for racial justice. To affirm that Black Lives Matter is to ensure that people of color can be whole, never expected to choose between aspects of their identity, and celebrate the multifaceted nature of humanity. To affirm that Black Lives Matter is to commit to individual and organizational anti-racist trainings, identifying specific anti-racist hiring practices and lay structures, and outlining goals around specific racial justice action steps. To affirm that Black Lives Matter is for white Jews to reflect on their own thoughts and behavior, to build meaningful relationship with Jews of color and people of color generally, and to work for reforms that will achieve real, lived freedom for Black people. We affirm that Black Lives Matter. It is not easy for us to hear these things and to recognize perhaps the implicit bias that we might have, or perhaps the passive way that we have contributed to this. But my hope is that over not just the next several weeks or several months, but several years, that we will continually raise up this conversation until there is some sort of change in our community. And so I offer us a prayer of the community offered by a colleague and friend of mine, Rabbi Jen Gubitz. I shared this in our tidbits today, but if you didn't read it, I share it with you now before Misha Beirach prayer for a different type of healing. This is Vaccinate Us, a prayer for healing from hate. As our world suffers, sickened by this virus, we pray. Inoculate our hearts with fortitude to dismantle systemic racism. Inject our souls with compassion to love and then to love harder. Mitigate our structures of power against abuse, exploitation, and violence. Protect our siblings among us and beyond, beloved humans who lay bleeding in our streets. Strengthen those wearied by oppression with renewed energy, tenacity, hope, and rest. Fortify our hearts to listen deeply and amplify the voices of Black people, of brown people, of Indigenous people everywhere. Immunize us, O source of healing. Immunize us against this viral historic hate. Course through our veins courage and conviction to reckon with our implicit bias, to apologize for our role in the pain, to fight to end this oppression. Vaccinate us, O source of healing, with the sacred power of love. We continue to think of our need of healing among those in our own community who are in need of healing of the body and of the spirit. We are thinking specifically of Ezra Melech ben Rachel Sarah, Mike Ammons, Helen Fine, Jeremy Wise, Paul Levine, Ed Bulin, Harvey Olson, Christine Wagner, Candace Smith, Tracy Huddleston, Joe McKenna, Ellen Goodrich, Mark Romanowski, Jerry McDonald, Richard Lieberman, Joel Pinsker, Ralph Schwartz, Marty Sacker, Sandy Sapphire, Laura Holtzinger-Levin, Avraham ben Avraham Sarah, Sidel Ballas, Bob and Gert Kahn, Dave Bussey, Ron Levine, Janice Davies-May, Lorraine Kotler, Emily November, Gail November, Maxine Rubin, Jay Bainbridge, Chelsea Smith, Shava Eta, Evan Glenn, Eric Weibel, Ruth Hirsch, Rory Freisler, David Arkin, Bernice Brandt, Deborah Seidel, And for all those who are not listed, we name them now in our hearts. As we say, Mishaberach Avotenu ve'imotenu, Mishivarech ve'yarpeh et hacholim. You're the one who has blessed and kept our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, and brought healing through every generation. May you continue to bring healing, not just to this world, but to these individuals who are in need of a healing of body, a healing of spirit. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim, blessed are you who brings healing to those in need of healing. And at this time, we continue with the singing of Mishaberach, which may be found on page 253.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekol habracha lemotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We now turn together to page 282 on the bottom and ask that those who are able to please rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגאי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 285. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever.
Adonai, למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
At this time, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We are in a period of Shiv'ah for Ellen Rosenthal, Ivan Zawatsky, and Betty Chernick. We are also observing a period of Shloshim for Victor Office and Erica Garfunkel. We also remember that we are observing the yahrzeits for those who have died at this season in years past, for George Abrams, Manny Adler, Toby Asher, Benjamin Berenstein, Anne Berenstein, Adam Brooke, Emmanuel Fishman, Lisa Marie Foreman, Esther Fox, George Garber, David Gindy, Samuel Goldberg, Randall Gossett, Regina Huber, Sam Huber, Rolana Kisaleva, Esther Claren, Abraham W. March, Fanny Budnick Nathan, Shlomo Orlov, Elizabeth T. Pataski, Mandy Rendler, Anita Rendler, Julia E. Rutman, Dora L. Schimmelman, Terrence Schneiderman, Jeanette Schwartz, Jack Semmelman, Harry B. Slavin, Alfred A. Sreer, Florence J. Tenenbaum. And of course, we name all of those in our hearts who perhaps are not listed here and perhaps need to be pronounced differently in our hearts as well. If you would like to type in the names of your loved one in our chat room as well, you may do so. We'll have those who are in mourning rise for the Mourner's Kaddish first, which may be found on page 294 if you are able. And then we will all join together if we are able to rise for Kaddish. Again, page 294. We remember also John and Rita Buck. Yitgadal v'yitkedash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach le'alam ulalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always and only be for a blessing. And at this time, we will continue with our Kiddush and our Motzi as we enter into our Shabbat celebrations at home. Thank you all for your participation. I know how meaningful it is for those who need to say Kaddish to be able to do it with a community. And for all of us, I know myself and Rabbi Sobo and Courtney as well, to be able to see all your faces is indeed a Shabbat celebration. And so we love to see you. And again, if you want to grab some fruit of the vine, whether it is wine or grape juice, we'll join together with Courtney leading us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzoni nitlanu, zikaron l'ma'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'charta ve'otanu kirashta mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha ve'hava uvratzon Inachaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat L'chaim. L'chaim.
And I will turn it over to Rabbi Bodney Hallis to lead us in Motzi, as she has a beautiful challah that her family made today, and I'm sure she would love to share it with you as well, both virtually and probably in person, but we'll stick with the virtually for now.
Sure. Actually, I see that Dusty is on our call, and I'm assuming, Dusty, that this is Dusty Columbia, whose family has been watching my children. And so they are responsible for the delicious challah that we are about to have tonight. So thank you. Ooh, it's got cheese on it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lachem min haaretz v'te'avon. Te'avon? Delicious challah. I hope you all have some challah to enjoy. And as we prepare to sign off, if anyone wants to unmute yourselves just to say good night or goodbye, we would love to just wave goodbye for you.